And so this is al-wafat, al-maut. And the remembrance of death and maut is something which we don't like to hear. And it's a little bit frightening, but it is the type of fear that needs to give us a stimulation. So we won't be living in a false reality. We'll be living with understanding of the journey that we go on. And the more we understand it, is the less real fear we'll have. And inshallah, we'll know ways to get the mercy of Allah. And it is something which everybody must go through. As the Prophet, peace upon him, would say on many occasions, you know, Allah is the one, you know, that you, I swear by Allah that you will go to sleep and you will be woken up. And you will die, and you will be raised. In Surah Ali Imran, verse 185, it's a very famous...
Bam. Preaching the words of Assalamu alaikum, which means peace and blessings be upon you. And I mentioned both Jesus and Muhammad's names. Peace be upon them both. They were both messengers of truth and reality. And you're looking at the Underground Railroad. We come on every Saturday night at 10:30. But you can catch me and Alderman Jaws on YouTube 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. So I want to say hi to the people in the United States, Central America, Canada, Europe, Asia, in the UK, Middle East. I don't know where they got their Middle East from. But I have my co-host with me, Alderman Virgil Jones, and Shalom.
Shalom, brother. You always leave out that I was the committeeman too.
Yes, sir.
There's a distinct difference between the two.
Yes, sir.
Committeeman is a political party position. You're a member of a private club called the Democratic Party of Cook County.
Yes, sir.
Alderman is a public office. Committeeman is not.
Oh, okay. My apologies, sir. You know, we'll talk about, you know what, thank you. You know, he sits on my right-hand side, and you know what, he's a benefit. He's an asset, not a liability to Underground Railroad TV show. And these shows are seen on YouTube, and you know what, there are a lot of people, Aldermen, that view you every single day. Your numbers are phenomenal, man. Not just in Chicago, but I'm talking about worldwide, and I want to thank you.
Well, that's because they know I believe in love, truth, peace, and freedom.
Yes.
And if they follow that too, then they will get justice.
Yes, sir. You know what? There's something that is going on in Chicago right now. This may be old news later on, where State Representative Monique Davis and another state representative, I think Mr. Ford is his name. I can't recall his first name. He's a state representative. They would like to bring in the National Guards to curtail, to minimize the crime in the community, because they believe that the police are not effectively doing their jobs. What's your opinion on that?
Well, let's talk about that.
Uh-huh.
When I was in public office as an alderman, I thought that was a problem.
Yes.
Till I went to the controller for the city of Chicago, who issues the checks, and I found out that they were only issuing 9,500 and some checks, from the superintendent to the last person hired. And then when you consider that you got 1,000 detectives, so now you're talking about 8,500 police officers.
Yes.
Then you got to consider that you got some specialized units that take away from that number. So let's round that number off to 6,000. And you got 25 police districts, which gives you approximately 250 people in every police district.
Okay.
Then you divide that by 3 shifts. What do you have, brother?
I'm gonna ask you, because I'm...
Well, you divide 250, all right, by 3, and you would have about 80 policemen on each shift.
Yes, sir.
But on midnights, you have less people working. So it ain't 80.
Yes.
So you can understand why most of the shooting takes place at nighttime.
Absolutely.
All right? And the city of Chicago budgets for 13,500 policemen.
Yes.
And you can go check with the controller
Okay.
and verify everything I said. People got upset with me because I had a hearing on it.
Okay.
And I wanted to know why they hadn't hired. And the attrition rate in the police department every year is 540 police officers quit, die, retire, or fired.
Yes.
540 every year.
Mm-hmm.
So therefore, from this day to this time last year, they lost 500 and some of that 9,500 and some people. And if they didn't hire any police officers the year before, now they're down 1,080 policemen.
So would it be? So therefore, it appears as though you're saying it would be feasible to bring in the National Guards to state representatives.
No, I didn't say that. Anything I want to say, I say.
Okay.
You don't have to say what
I'm
I said.
asking.
No.
Okay.
I think what they need to do is to go ahead and do what they said they were going to do. That's one of my things I had against Pat Hill when she became the head of the Afro-American Patrolmen's League.
Okay.
All right, because when I was an alderman, I told her, all right, look, they had a court consent decree by Judge Prentice Marshall.
Yes.
And I was a member of the Afro-American Patrolmen's League. And it said that the police department had to be 40% black. And you and I know, you tell me, is the Chicago Police Department 40% black?
No, not.
They switched the word on them and started talking about minorities.
Yeah, when you told Pat Hill that, what was her response?
I
I
told
don't
her,
know if there was a private discussion. You may not be able to divulge that.
oh, no, I can tell you now that he's not in office. Me and Alderman Beavers told her we would give her all the information that she needed because we had access to it. And she went in, first of all in the hearing, called him Uncle Tom. After she knew before the meeting started what we was going to do.
Wow.
So, trust me, I tell you, you know, you all call them leaders, I call them misleaders.
I understand what you're saying.
The best guy I ever known who fought hard, who was there when I was there, hadn't left yet, was Officer Crowley.
Yes.
All right? He's one of the best policemen I've ever known.
Is he still alive?
Yeah, he's still alive.
Okay.
Ever
We're going
known.
to get him on the show one day. Okay.
Yeah, we need to.
Okay.
Because he was one of the best policemen that I've ever known.
Okay.
The best.
Okay. Now, you know, when we speak of the National Guards, I believe that you know what drones will be flying over the United States of America pretty soon. They had congressional hearings about that. And what is your view? Some people say they have been. I was speaking to Randy Evans today at WVON Fest.
Brother.
He told me to tell you how, and Perry Small, you know, y'all,
You know, Perry's my queen.
WVO, she's from WVON radio station. Okay.
She's my queen. Make no mistake about it. She's
Boy,
the black queen.
Yes.
But you talk about drones.
Yes.
Anything you hear about has already been done. I told you, Henry Ford said, things just don't happen. Everything is planned.
Do you okay.
They've been doing that stuff for years. I told you years ago that they was listening to the our phone conversations.
Yes.
You recall that?
Yeah, I remember you. I remember you and boys. You and boys. You said it just as well. Yeah.
Yeah, Dr. Covey. But nobody was listening to us. They was laughing at us. Told us we was what is that term? We're
Yes.
conspiracy theorists.
Yes.
Now they know it was the truth. You know, back in 1910, George Orwell wrote a book called 1984.
Yes.
And all of what's happening now is in the book. He called a TV set of YouTube. He didn't know nothing about TVs.
Yes.
Now, anything that can transmit can receive.
Yes.
anything that can receive can transmit.
Yes.
So they watch us all in our houses.
Mm-hmm.
You think they not. But they ain't fooling me, I know.
You know, you know what I was on YouTube, and you know something, I was looking at a drone the size of an insect, and you know what? It was unbelievable to me. It was very hard to believe, but I spoke to some people to confirm that this is real.
Well, let me ask you a question, brother, since you didn't want to believe that.
I believe that.
They sent a spaceship to Mars,
Mm-hmm.
and it transported pictures from Mars back to the Earth.
Mm-hmm.
So you could look at them just like I'm looking at you and you looking at me.
Yes.
So what would make you think that wasn't possible?
You know what? Oh man, you know, YouTube is interesting.
Well, I got a little more knowledge about there's a whole civilization inside of the Earth.
Say that again.
There's a whole civilization inside of the Earth.
Come on, man. You got.
It's called Agratra.
You got to be kidding now.
No, I ain't quitting. I'm dead serious.
Explain this.
And Agratra's capital is a place called Shambhala. And they have ships that do intergalactic traveling.
I'm sorry, I just never heard anybody say this before.
And well, there's some material you can get. I'll tell you how to get it. And read it for yourself. See, I read.
As you say, I can Google it up, right?
Yeah. And you'll find out. You know, they've been doing that, traveling intergalactically. I read a book in 1945. They came to the surface after they dropped the atomic bomb.
Mm-hmm.
And met with all the so-called civilized leaders and told them, look, if you ever do that, we think you're gonna do that again, we'll come to the surface and destroy all of you.
Well, now, what can they Google? You know what? You know the term you always use. They can Google this up. Now, what do they do to Google this up? If somebody's looking at this like, this is not real. What you see, you know, they don't believe this.
Well, just Google up Shambhala /Agratra and .com or Google.
It seems.
See, understand, they don't hide nothing from you.
Mm-hmm.
You know why? Because they know you ain't gonna read.
I understand what you're saying. That's I don't know, man. You know what? No, that's kind of hard. You know, for the average person. But I guess the average person is not reading. But that's kind of hard to believe.
Well, on Mars, when they went there, I'm gonna help you remember something.
Mm-hmm.
They showed a face in the sand or dirt there that looked just like the Sphinx, and they never showed you nothing else from the planet.
But they said it was just craters.
I said it was the face of a Sphinx. If you looked at it, you saw it was the face of a Sphinx.
Hmm.
Don't you think that for one moment, they've had battles. There's a guy, I think his security clearance was 10.
Mm-hmm.
The president don't have that. His name was Schindler, all right? He was a geological engineer. He helped to build underground bases and cities in this country. And they encountered some of the beings inside the earth.
The beings.
Yeah, he went all over the country talking about it till one day, they found him at his house with some piano wire around his neck, and they said he committed suicide.
What is he committed suicide? What is the reason? If they don't want to reveal themselves to the general population?
They figured, they say it might cause a panic. I don't believe that, all right? Because they're preparing now, all right? There's a man named Lyndon LaRouche.
Mm-hmm.
He gave the Starware stuff to Ronald Reagan. He wanted to be president. And everything he said came true.
Yes.
He said there was going to be a financial collapse, right? Yes. All of that. It happened, didn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So, trust me, the people who are really in charge are Luciferians. You disagree with that?
I don't disagree with that. You know what?
Okay.
You know what? You know what? You have a very good point. A very good point. And you know what? It sounds like it's legitimate.
And commonly when people talk about stuff like that, Brother Cliff, they call them the reptilians.
That I didn't
And when they
know.
used to show you the so-called devil, right? The so-called devil, he always had what? He looked like he had a tail, right?
Pitchfork and
Pointed
horns
ears,
and
horn, reptilians.
alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah.
Even though I know a little bit more about that than the average person out here.
This is kind of scaring me. I think I want to go on to another subject. This is kind of scaring me.
I mean, you have John Kennedy, who was murdered. He was murdered by a group of assassins out of the Vatican. And if you want to find that out, go on the internet and look up Vatican assassins.
Vatican assassins. Okay.
And you read that.
I understand.
It will go all the way back past Abraham Lincoln, who was assassinated by the same people.
You know what, man? You know what, in your estimate, and you know the things that you read, what chastisement did you see coming to the United States of America in the future for the country deviating off the path of God, and the people being dumbed down? What chastisement do you see?
Well, my brother, you can go to the National Archives, right over there on Pulaski, around 76th Street. If you ever go there, tell them you want to see microfilm 247, and you put it on the reel, and you know what you're going to see?
What's that?
This country was originally named, listen closely, Islam of America.
Yes, sir.
Now, that's not the religion that you all use. It meant I am self, law, and master. All right? Now, you did hear what I just said.
I heard what you said. Yes, sir.
And that's on the tapes from the National Archives. But whoever goes and looks up stuff like I do there, all right?
The average person does not.
No, they don't know about it.
No.
That's why they put those kind of places in secluded areas.
Okay. But I want to ask you again, what chastisement did you see coming to the United States for deviating off the path of God in the future? How long will we last? How long will we be?
Well, brother, I don't really go and attack the unity states. That's the proper name for them, all right? The unity states.
Okay.
That you call the United States.
Corporation. Okay.
No, that didn't become a corporation until 1871 in England.
Okay.
After 1871, they came here and registered that corporation known as the United States of America Incorporated as a Delaware corporation. There's a difference between the United States Republic and the United States of America Incorporated.
Well, you think I'm gonna have to ask you the question in a different way then? How long do you think that they're going to fully institute New World Order, totalitarian rule?
Well, if you got a dollar bill in your pocket and you look at that dollar bill, people talk about the New World Order. The New World Order has existed for a long, long time, my brother. On that dollar bill, on the left-hand side facing you, it says, Novus Ordo Seclorum. You know, that's Latin, which was our original language. Do you know what that means?
No, I don't.
The New World Order.
Yeah. Well, what are they waiting for? Why don't they just get it over with? How long do
They've already got control of everything.
I mean, total control.
They got total control.
Okay. Well, what are they waiting for to start heading us to the FEMA camps? I tried to head us to the FEMA camps.
They don't have to do that when they already got you in prison out here. What do they need to do that for? And bring world attention to themselves.
What is the purpose of having FEMA camps then? If they don't need to do that, what's
in case you want to get violent?
In case you want to get vital.
There's something that was passed in Congress in the 40s called the King Alfred Plan. You've heard of that?
I've heard of it, yes.
And they planned what they were going to do with you, me, other folks like us. All right? They were going to do what? Take them in the military, those who might be a problem. But they put all of them in the camp.
So you're saying, in essence, I'm asking, that Facebook, Twitter, even cable access is an intelligence gathering tool to find out about the powers to be, what the masses are actually thinking. That's what I think.
Of course,
you're saying.
that's what it is. I don't use that stuff. I only use a computer to type stuff, print stuff. But I do not have no Facebook page, none of that, never will.
Yes.
Because I know the purpose of it.
I remember you saying something about the NSA. You went down to the NSA and they had televisions.
That was a long, long time ago.
Can you tell us this story? We got 4 minutes left.
I had somebody who was very close to me who worked there. And they could get permission to bring somebody with them, and they took me and showed me. All right, because I was participating in some things at that time, and they wanted me to show me something. They said, let me explain something to you, my brother. You think you're doing something, you ain't doing nothing. You see that video, that screen up there? All they have to do is know what corner you're on. And they can have a satellite to take your picture, just like I'm looking at you right now. Tell you something better than that. They can listen to you. Wow. That's why I said I say whatever I think. Because if I say it to somebody else, they want to hear it, they can find out easy.
Sad, man.
It's not sad, it's real.
I think the only thing that can combat it is truth.
Brother.
Now, I'm a realist. This is what I believe.
There's a great God. And you call him Allah, I call him Allah, but I call him that for a different reason. Because it's arms, leg, arms, and head. I am self, law, and master.
Yes.
So therefore, my brother, once you understand that kind of science, you don't worry about nothing else, okay? Because everyone is given a time to rule.
Yes.
All right, you had the Greeks, all right, you had the Romans, and before them, you had the Songhai empires over in what they call Africa, the Malay Empire.
Yes.
You follow what I'm saying? In South Africa, you had the Zulu Empire. Everybody has a time to rule. All right?
Yes.
And their time is running out.
I understand what you're saying. You know, but you got any finishing comments? And we'll be back on next Monday, inshallah. You got any finishing comments? Thank you.
My comment always is one thing. For our people to do what they killed slaves for. Read.
Read. I think I heard Randy Evans. You know Randy Evans said the same thing. Randy Evans, inshallah, we're going to try to get him on next month to talk about some of this. And thank you.
Well, he and I would have a great conversation. Great conversation.
Thank you. And thank you for looking at the Underground Railroad. This will be on YouTube. You can see me on Alderman on YouTube 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. Believe me, man.
وإنما توفون أجوركم يوم القيامة فمن زحزح عن النار وأدخل الجنة فقد فاز وما الحياة الدنيا إلا متاع الغرور. Every soul shall taste death, and only on the day of judgment shall you be paid your wages in full. Listen how the Quran teaches us. That's the teacher. It's this book that really we should be getting our lessons from. And whoever is removed from the fire and enters paradise, he is successful. And surely the life of this world is nothing but material deception. It is material deception. وَالْمَا الْحَيَاةِ الدُّنْيَا إِلَّا مَتَاعُ الْغُرُورِ. In Surah Al-Luqman, verse 34, Allah tells us, وَمَا تَدْرِي نَفْسٌ مَاذَا تَكْسِبُ غَدًا وَمَا تَدْرِي نَفْسٌ بِأَيِّ أَرْضٍ تَمُوتُ. No soul, no person knows what he will earn tomorrow, and no person knows in what land he will die. And so Allah has hidden this from us. And this is a blessing, because if we knew that we would die, say at 85 years old, then we'd probably do wrong all of our lives until 84 years, 11 months, and then make tawbah, ask Allah to forgive us so that we could meet death.